Hello, everyone, and welcome to the program Talksports here on Global Television. I am Samuel Odi. Many thanks for joining on today's edition of the program. Lots and lots of things happening in the world of sports as we currently speak. We'll be seeing in the world of table tennis where Quadri Haruna would be facing world number 6 at the WTT, and then there will be a lot of actions coming up today in the UEFA Champions League. Liverpool will be taking on Galatasaray. Tottenham will also be in action. Newcastle in action as well. We'll be talking about all of those, and Victor Osimhen is looking to make a point with against Liverpool because of the whole trade concern saga that went on during those transfer windows. Them coming out to say that he's not worth 120 million pounds, and then went to buy Alexander Isak from Newcastle, who hasn't been as effective has been for Galatasaray. So we'll be having all of those conversations and then be comparing and be talking about who actually is the world best striker as we speak now. The top 3, at least we'll try to figure that out today based on individual opinions actually. So we'll be having those conversations. And again, we have said that the MPFL and the NFF have taken decisive decision to sanction some teams and officials based on what we saw over the weekend. Now, whenever there is a match that's played in Nigeria, that's talking about the MPFL and the NNL League, then the following week we get to see lots of sanctions and fines being, imposed on people. If individuals are not looking to learn, if officials are not looking to be unbiased, then these sanctions will keep coming, and it's a good one from the NFF until we find a certain level of peace and within those regions. So the world of basketball have conversation around there where NBA regular season is still ongoing. LeBron James was in action. We also saw Stephen Curry, who is back on his feet, and he played against Utah Jazz, where the Golden State Warriors were victorious on the road. We also saw other amazing matchup between OKC Thunders and Denver Nuggets, and also we saw New York Knicks in action against LA Clippers. So we're bringing you all of those highlights, and then we would also have conversations around the Commonwealth Games, where the Nigerian Boxing Federation is looking to have a podium finish, not just having a podium finish, but winning 6 gold medals. That is what their target is. I'll bring you up to speed with all of those stories. But for now, let's start with the world of table tennis, where Quadri Haruna faces world number 6 at the WTT. Nigerian table tennis star and African's current number 1, Quadri Haruna, will return to action at the WTT champions Chongqing later today when he takes on France Felix in the men's round of 32. Currently ranked world number 48, Quadri will be featuring in his 3rd WTT tournament of the season as he searches for his first win of the year. He lost his 2 previous matches at the WTT star contender Doha and the Senegal smash in February. We saw him having those challenges later today. He'll be meeting with the 19-year-old Felix, who will be his 3rd encounter still between the 2 players. Haruna has 1 win from their previous meeting. His last victory over the Frenchman was a hard 3-2 win at the WTT contender Durban in South Africa in January of 2023. They met twice in 2024 at the WTT star contender Goa and the WTT champions Chongqing, where the teenager recorded a 3-0 and a 3-2 victory respectively. Both players will renew their rivalry in the Chongqing later today with a place in the round of 16 at stake. Individually, Haruna's form headed into the clash is considering as the 37-year-old is winless in his last 5 matches on the WTT circuit. So we'll see how this will pan out, if he has improved and if he'll be getting a win, or it's about time for him to retire at 37. Moving away from that, BF eyes 6 gold medals at the Commonwealth Games. The Nigerian Boxing Federation has set its target on 6 gold medals at the 2026 Commonwealth Games in Scotland as 40 boxers prepare to enter the campaign and excitement phase from which the final 10 representatives will be selected. Vice President of the Nigerian Boxing Federation, Omali Ibadu, who spoke to reporters a couple of days ago at the Boxing Week trial at the National Boxing Complex in Lagos, says the Federation is determined to make a significant statement in Scotland. The boxers heading to the camp comprises 20 finalists from the trials, 10 male and 10 female, as well as 20 additional boxers, some of whom were semi-finalists at the open trials. The 5-day trials drew 128 boxers comprising of 101 men and 27 women competing across 10 weight categories. Diaspora boxers, Mbata, the African's gold medalist based in United Kingdom, headlined the women's finalists, while Kenneth Inibo claimed the top spot for the men's 90 kg class. Other female finalists were Udonga State Happiness in the 51 kg, Gofa in the 51 kg, Ajinsola Khadijat in the 57 kg, Bemiso Aishat in the 57 kg as well, and Sodiq Damilola in the 65 kg, Ismail Abibat in the 65 kg, Blessing in the 70 kg, James Queen in the 70 plus kg, and Udoka Celestina in the 70 kg as well. For the female category, that was for the female category. And then moving for the male finalists are Michael with 55 kg, Habib with also 55 kg, Abdul Wahab also in 65 kg, Sali Rinwan in 65 kg, Fole Hassan in 70 kg category, while Precious was also in the 70 kg category. Daniel Joshua advanced further to the 80 kg category, and then the trajectory continues like that. So looking at it now, we are seeing that this team, these individuals are set and they are ready. So campaign is opening, and then we will see how they'll be able to advance and then have that podium finishes. Let's go on a quick break, and then when we return, Talk Sports continues. Many thanks for staying with us. If you're just joining, this is still Talk Sport, and we are right to move on to the world of basketball now, as the Tigress rather begins training in France for World Cup qualifiers. The women's basketball team Tigress have begun training in France ahead of their FIBA Women's Basketball Cup tournament 2026, which on Wednesday in Lyon. The 7-time African champions arrived in Lyon on last night for the tournament scheduled to take place from March the 11th to the 17th. Platforms. Clips posted by the teams on Instagram showed the squad taking part in the first training section, as well as a gym workout marking for Wednesday's opening match against Colombia. The competition traveled to France alongside head coach Renan Wakama and Wakama recently concluded coaching duties with Hive Basketball Club in the unraveled league before linking up with the team the tournament. Although Nigeria in Berlin winning against Afro Basketball 2025 qualifiers will serve as further preparation for global tournaments scheduled to take place in Germany from September the 4th to the 13th, 2026. The Tigers will open their campaign against Colombia on Wednesday, which is going to be on the 11th, before facing South Korea on March the 12th. Also, the Philippines on March the 14th, host France on March the 15th, and Germany on the 17th of March. So looking at it now, the trajectory of these ladies and how prepared they are is just world class, and they've been together in the longest. There's a lot of team chemistry on ground already, and then we'll hope to see that they would excel and continue properly with their training and every other activities that they'll be on. So let's move away from that and talk President Federation Cup quickly, as NFL fixes April 25th to 26th for states and finals. The club that failed to honor matches in the national preliminary of this year's Presidential Cup competition will be fined the sum of 1 million naira. NFF's Director of Competition Routes, David, made this clear in a statement in which also announced that the state's preliminaries of the nation's oldest football competition will take place between 22nd of March down to the 26th of April. The state preliminaries kickoff will be on Sunday, the 22nd of March, and any club that fails to show up for any match could, after concluding registration for the competition at state level, will be made to pay the sum of 500,000 naira. The final matches in the state competition must be played either on Saturday the 25th of April or on Sunday the 26th of April, with each football association in the state and the FCT to submit its two representatives for the national competition on either of these 2 days. Looking at it now, still talking about fines and other things, referees banned as NFF heavy sanctions MPFL and NNL clubs. All of this is coming from the concerns that we saw over the weekend. The Nigerian Football Federation Disciplinary Committee has fined Gombe United and Jigawa Golden Stars following incident that disrupted their Nigerian National League clash played on December the 21st, 2025 at the Pantimane Stadium in Gombe. The committee found that in the 94th minute, the center referee initially awarded a goal kick before changing the decision to a penalty after Gombe United supporters encroached onto the field of play. The action was deemed a breach of Rule 16, subsection 1 of the Nigerian NNL League rules. Investigations also revealed that the center referee submitted 2 conflicting reports regarding the incident, while there was no concrete evidence to support claims that they acted under duress. Jigawa Golden State's star players, however, refused to continue the match in protest against the penalty decision. As a result, Gombe United were fined 1 million naira for fans' encroachment, while the referee, Taiwan's Chai, was suspended for the remainder of the season for professional misconduct. Jigawa Stars were also fined 500,000 for refusing to continue the game, with the committee ruling that the match result would stand as a goalless draw. Meanwhile, the discipline committee has upheld several sanctions imposed on Wiki Tourists and Kwara United following separate incident during Nigerian Premier Football League features. Wiki Tourists were fined a total of 4 million naira after their supporters threw dangerous objects onto the field of play and gained access to restricted areas during their match against Katsina United in Bauchi. Although the referees confirmed he was hit by a stone, the committee found no evidence of injury to officials or players. The club will now serve a 5-match home ban in Jos for the remainder of the season. I'm just hoping that very soon all of this will be over with, as we always get to see a whole lot of negative reports actually after every match. There's either going to be a sanction or a fine or something. So with all of these fines, we're hoping to see that measures will be taken by team officials and team owners so that that would make their field and their home side very, very protective for rather players that will be coming from a weak side to play. Well, with all of these sanctions we're seeing from the NFF, I think it's going to turn out for good if they pay the sanctions that would correct or put their fans in order and make sure or provide security, basically provide security so as they can take care of the pitch when games are currently ongoing. So moving on now, let's talk EPL quickly as the Football Association fines Rodri £80,000 for post-match remarks questioning officials. Manchester City's Rodri has been fined £80,000 by the Football Association after comments he made about the referees following Man City's 2-2 draw with Tottenham Hotspur last month. The Spanish international criticized referee Robert Jones during a post-match interview after the 1st of February Premier League clash, suggesting the officials had not been neutral. As reports reaching us, Rodri made this remarks after Tottenham striker Dominic Solanke recorded a controversial goal that City players felt should have been ruled out. The midfielder believed Solanke had kicked through the leg of City's defender Marcus Green in the build-up, but the goal was allowed to stand. Then the trajectory continued. Now, this referee is also, we've rarely seen where referees get sanctions in the EPL, but I think those the investigating bodies, the body involved that's talking about the football FA, they need to step in and also have a body that always try to investigate these referees when they make some calls. Nobody is perfect, true. We've seen the goal line technology being introduced and also VAR line also being introduced. So I think all of this should be monitored because most of the times these referees tend to make lots and lots of mistakes. So let's move away from that and talk about FA Cup as Man City are set to face Liverpool, Chelsea to host Post Vale in the FA Cup quarter-final draw. Manchester City will face Liverpool in quarter-final draws of the Emirates FA Cup following the draw made last night ahead of the 5th round tie between West Ham United and Brentford at the London Stadium. According to statements on the Emirates FA website, the draw was conducted by former FA Cup winners and West Ham player Joe Cole and Joe Hart. League One side Port Vale, who beat Sunderland in the previous round, will travel to Stamford Bridge to face Chelsea, while Championship side Southampton will host Arsenal at St Mary's Park. The fourth tie will be an all-Premier League clash between the winners of West Ham United and Brentford against Leeds United. The quarterfinals are scheduled to take part across the weekend of April the 4th, 2026, with the final schedule to be confirmed following talks with clubs, broadcast partners, and local authorities. So the draws are here, and then we'll be seeing actions that would be coming up in those areas. So we'll see how all of those pan out. So later today, we'll be seeing actions in the UEFA Champions League as Chelsea, Arsenal, Barcelona, others are set to clash for the quarterfinal stage. The stage is set for this season's UEFA Champions League clash future as fans witness some upset in the playoff stage in the month of February. The Champions League last 16 begins this week when different European top clubs will compete for the spot in the quarterfinal stages. The first leg features will take place later today, while the second phase will be tomorrow, while the returning leg features will be next week. There are 16 teams: Chelsea, Arsenal, Bayern Munich, Liverpool, Bayern Leverkusen, Sporting Lisbon, Galatasaray, Paris, and Saint-Germain, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, Newcastle United, Tottenham Hotspur, Manchester City, Atlanta, Bodo Glimt, and Barcelona that will play in the last round of 16. And then the future, obviously, looking at the form now, based on what the action will be seen. One of the actions will be seen today: Galatasaray versus Liverpool. Liverpool is in a very good form in the competition as they secure the spot into the last round of 16 via automatic qualification. But the Premier League giant finished third position on the Champions League table behind Arsenal and Bayern Munich. Galatasaray is in the mixed form in the competition. The Turkish Super League champions qualified for the last round of 16 stage after beating Juventus as well in the playoffs. Atlanta versus Bayern Munich. Bayern is in a good form as well in their league as they finished second position in the standings, just behind leaders Arsenal, and Atlanta needed the playoffs to qualify for the last round of 16. The Serie A side defeated Borussia Dortmund in the playoffs. It's yet to be seen if they can beat another Bundesliga giant. Meanwhile, the remaining features are Atletico Madrid versus Tottenham Hotspur and Newcastle United versus Barcelona. Those are the actions we will be seeing today, and we will see how all of those pan out. And then tomorrow there'll be more actions. A lot of persons will be paying attention closely to the Liverpool and Galatasaray matchup. I'm sure that will be happening here in Nigeria. A lot of persons will want to watch that match and see how Victor Osimhen would perform against a side that refused to pay him what he's worth. So away from football, let's talk basketball quickly as we saw actions in the NBA. We'll be starting off the highlights with that of Utah Jazz as they took on Golden State Warriors. Afterwards, we'll bring you the highlights of LA Clippers versus New York Knicks, and we'll also bring you the highlights of OKC Thunders versus Denver Nuggets. For now, let's start off with the highlights between Jazz and Golden State Warriors. Here are the highlights.
Inside cut and the bucket down low. There's Filipowski. Like Keontae T, he is growing, as is Cody Williams. Beautiful baseline pass in the bucket by Flip.
That's just a nice first bucket by the Jazz. I mean, touched everyone's hands, and just an easy layup ball, just moving with energy early.
Draymond, splash. He's been doing it for years. Draymond in his 14th season, a four-time All-Star, and of course his defense speaks for itself. Defensive Player of the Year back in 2016-17. Here's Key, puts down the shoulder, about a 16-foot jumper. He loves that shot from the Summer League in Las Vegas.
Yeah, and he's had the strength. He just wasn't using it consistently early. But he's definitely learned how to play some bully ball down low.
Santos picks
will concede that shot, not flip. Nice contest to make Payton miss.
Another great pass by the big. Yeah. And Sensabaugh will get the bucket on thanks to Filipowski's dime. Conchar will run to the right.
Thought by Key to free up some space. Easy bucket.
Shot rattles out. Draymond with a rebound. Another three-point try. That one's going to drop. And that's,
I'd say, just an out of bounds.
Strong drive. Filipowski denied. Quick outlet pass, and the Warriors will run it to the rim with Nate Williams, another two-way contracted player. Warriors grab the offensive rebound. Catch and shoot three. Up and in by Gary Payton, the second. 9 on the shot clock, resets it back out to Key. They double him. Back inside, Shibwe turns, take it up, big man, and he does. Oscar Shibwe, 10th game for the Jazz.
Nate Williams with a wide open look, probably open too long, and this is...
That's the definition of picking your pocket.
Yeah.